Well, what do we have here? Are these the D9's from Definitive Technology? I think they are. These are the D9 bookshelf speakers from DefTech, and these are really cool because they have a totally weird looking face plug here. They have a totally weird design on the tweeter. They have a totally weird passive radiator on the top. I call it weird because it's not common, but we're going to talk about the effects of these things and what makes this bookshelf speaker really cool. Now, these are used speakers from a friend. He actually purchased these used to kind of round out his Definitive Technology system that we're going to be going to in a few weeks. And so he brought these over to my house to do a little bit of videoing for him, do for us, more than him, I guess. A little content on the channel, so thank you for that. So these are the D9 from Definitive Technology. These are really cool because they have a lot of things in them. They have a lot of characteristics that you don't really see on most bookshelf speakers. Like, for example, on the back of the speaker, it says L and R. So these are dedicated position speakers. This is the left speaker. This is the right speaker. You don't really see speaker labels on bookshelf speakers. Usually they are exactly the same, but these are not. You guys can kind of see the offset on these tweeters here. They're not in the middle, and they're not on the same side as the other speaker, and that's different. Usually bookshelf speakers are exactly the same, but this is the left, and it has to be on the left. This has to be on the right. So the reason why these tweeters are offset is to minimize wave cancellations off the front baffle. So you guys, this is the front baffle, the front face. This here is offset, and it has a little bar, I guess you can call it, a little phase plug almost, right here on the front, and it helps with standing waves, helps with reflections off the front. So it is a purposeful design, which is why you have to have them on a certain side of the room, because you're going to be sitting in between them most likely, whether that's as a front speaker, as surround speaker. You're going to be sitting in between these two speakers, so the way they reach your ear is important because of how they're offset. So I mentioned there is a passive radiator on the top of these speakers. I'm going to push slightly right down here. You'll see the indentation. You guys can kind of see it. It's a little hard. There you go. Towards that corner there, there is an oval cutout here because there is a passive radiator inside both of these speakers, and that's going to give us some bass, a lot more bass than you would normally get in not only a small speaker like this, but it's also sealed. This is a sealed enclosure, and they use a passive radiator to give you the benefits of the port and none of the side effects of a port. So these are these are passive radiators that are going to give us down to about 60 hertz, I believe, is what I saw on the spec sheet. 64 doesn't sound impressive, but in room response, you should be getting more like 48 hertz. So expect to get about 50 hertz out of these speakers. So we can't ignore the elephant in the room. What is this thing, you may be asking? This is what they're calling their linear response waveguide that extends on-axis and off-axis frequency response. So even if you're not sitting directly in between them, if you're a little bit off to the left or right, you have really good timbre matching regardless. You get all of those bass frequencies. So the dispersion is wide. It covers a wide area, a wide listening area is what that waveguide is meant to do. Disperse that sound in multiple different seats. So if you're not in the sweet spot, you're still going to get a lot of that sweet spot-like sound. Like I said, these are used and they're borrowed from a friend, so please excuse any damages. This is how he bought them, and he knew about these damages, so you got a really good price. But they have a black glossy finish around the back and the sides, and this more of this. It's almost metal feeling. I think it's metal around the top and the front and the sides here. So that's pretty interesting. So you can imagine that these are pretty sturdy, pretty stout. And then here is a look at the back. You have the ability to 5-way bind these if you like to. So you can use them as they are now. These are jumper cables here that are linking the highs and the lows together. But you can take this jumper out and use banana plugs or whatever, and you can give power to the tweeter and give power to the mid-bass driver separately if you want to buy wire or buy amp. So nice touch there. I do like the overall look of these. They do match the Demand series. That's what the D stands for in these lines. The D9, Demand 9 is what these stand for. So they do match the Demand series. So that's what he has in his home that we'll be checking out here not too long from now. So if you're not familiar with my series, we do a series over there on the desk called The Desk, where we take bookshelf speakers and we listen to them together on a video. I'll play music, we'll talk about it live and in person. So if you haven't seen those episodes, I have a playlist called The Desk, Bookshelf Speaker Reviews, where I've done Kef speakers, I've done triangle speakers, Klipsch speakers, Fluent speakers. I've done a lot of bookshelf speakers on the desk, and these are up next. So we're gonna do a full sound review, music review live together on that next episode tomorrow. Today is Saturday, the 28th, I think it is. I'm gonna check my phone. 29th. I'm so behind. Tomorrow is Sunday, the 30th. I will be posting this video of them being reviewed live in action with music, with my own thoughts. So stay tuned for that video. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. Hit that like button, and thank you again to our friend for sending this out to me to get a review video for you guys. We will see you guys in the next one. Kpaceguy out. Peace.